Hey, Brian King at King Law Offices. Wanted to talk a little bit about what you do when you have a conflict with somebody at King Law. Right now it's the summer. As I'm doing this video, we're at 150 team members. When you have that many team members, there's probably somebody who you're going to have a conflict with. Sometimes those conflicts are just small, like, man, that person just grates on my nerves, or Brian's talking all the time. Can't get along with him at all, or John just won't get off my back. Sometimes though, it's more serious, and I acknowledge that sometimes it is more serious. And I want to make sure that you feel very comfortable being able to talk to somebody about that. Now, for us, I'm going to use some names in particular. Sometimes those names change, hopefully not too often, but the position will always be there. So let me talk to you a little bit about that. First of all, whatever that conflict that you have, you need to be able to identify what that conflict is. A lot of times, it's the kind of conflict that I kind of scratch my head and say, well, did you talk to them about it? Because a lot of times I think we harbor different things and just don't talk to that person. Now, I get it. I'm not saying that that's always the right answer, because sometimes it isn't the right time to go and deal with that. But I would at least be able to say, hopefully we have a relationship with people that you can reach out and say, like, hey, I feel that there's a conflict going on here, whatever that might be. But so if you can acknowledge it there, then that's fine. But the next step is to be able to come up with the person who is either a direct report for you, somebody who you report to, or somebody who they report to. Now, I think it's important to, if you can, to get both of those people involved. But usually if you get one person involved, they can get somebody else involved. And just say, like, hey, maybe you want to keep it anonymous at this point, but I want to talk to them. Now, that person may not be able to keep it completely anonymous, especially if it's a kind of situation that may impact us as a team. Whether it be harassment, whether it be just inappropriateness, whatever it might be, they may have to deal with that. But it's fine to ask for that to be kept anonymous. Although, like I said, we have to deal with things once that they're presented to us in a very careful and cautious way. And we want to make sure that you're protected as possible going into that. So if it is, though, the person who you directly report to, whether you're an attorney and that's your PAG chair, whether you're in an office and it's the person who runs maybe the hub office or whatever that may be, then I would encourage you to go to Human Resources and talk to Stacy. Now, a lot of you may not have a relationship with Stacy. Perhaps you feel more comfortable talking to somebody like Carson, who is in training, and she deals with a lot of different issues, and she knows a lot of the people, and she can make that determination about whether that goes into Stacy. If for some reason it's one of those people, then maybe talking to a Kimberly or even myself or John or Frank might be the right direction to go into. The big part here is, I don't want you to feel like I have a conflict with a person and I'm going to have to leave. That's the worst case scenario, because it doesn't solve the problem for the overall team. And it certainly isn't a position that I want you to be in. I want you to be able to talk and be able to discuss through that. Now, we do have some anonymous reporting tools and some things like that that can be done, because we want to make sure that there's always something that goes on that. If it's a situation that you have with me personally, you can take that up with John, or vice versa, because either one of us can deal with those issues directly and have dealt with those things directly. And I think it's important that every person here, no matter what it is, they're not above having issues or having conflicts or whatever that may be. I just want to make sure that you feel safe when you come to work. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel like you can come and smile and joke and have a good time. But at the same time, that if you are stepping on somebody's toes, that they're going to tell you, and that we can amend and change our behaviors to make sure that everybody feels included and a part of this larger team. We've been doing this for 22 years, and I plan on doing it for many, many more. So because of that, we want to make sure we get this right, and we want to make sure we can deal with those conflicts. That's who we are at King Law.